Hi, I'm Matthew Toringdon with Smart Shield Property Management, and in today's video I want to answer the question, what is the 1% rule and why should I care? We have another video that actually answers the question, how much money can I make with my rental property? In that video, we touch on the 1% rule and actually go into much greater detail with lots of other ways to analyze a property that's much more meaningful than the 1% rule. But in today's video, I just want to focus on the 1% rule because it's such a popular terminology that you hear. People on Bigger Pockets and other similar venues talk about this rule a lot. So in brief, what it is you take the total acquisition cost of a rental property. Now, notice what I said, total acquisition cost. So a lot of people that do the 1% rule, they just focus on the sales price, but you have more going into it than just the sales price when you buy a rental property. You have the sales price, you have closing costs, and probably you have some fix-up costs. So you might buy a property that is $100,000 and have $5,000 in closing costs and another $15,000 to do carpet, paint, a bunch of other repairs to get this place rent ready for a total of $120,000. So make sure you're looking at your total acquisition cost when you start with this number. And then you look at the market rent on the property. So there's lots of great ways that you can kind of try to figure out what the market rent is. I'd also recommend you talk with a local professional property manager and they can give you some assurance about what that market rental rate is. But take that market rental rate, divide it by your total acquisition cost, and if that number is 1%, then you're hitting the 1% rule. So again, we go back to our $120,000 example. The 1% rule says I would want that property to rent for $1,200. Now, this is a very quick way to analyze a property, and for that reason, it really is just a tool to see if this property passes the initial sniff test. There's lots of greater detail we're going to want to dig into to figure out if this really is the right property for you or not. So what the 1% rule says is if it hits that 1% or higher, this is a good deal. Now, depending on the market, the 1% rule may be easy to find or it may be hard to find. So if you're in a market where it's more of a seller's market, it can be somewhat challenging for the average investor to find that property that hits the 1% rule. It doesn't mean those aren't good deals. There are plenty of good deals out there that are less than that 1% rule. And again, you can watch our other video series that digs into the numbers deeper to see if a property like that could make sense for you. Or you may be in a market where it's more of a buyer's market and it's not that hard to find the 1% rule. So if you want help finding one of these properties, or if you want help analyzing a deal that you're considering to see if this is a good deal for you, please feel free to reach out to us at Smart Shield Property Management, the intelligent investor's choice.